What if your exceptional skills are the very thing that's holding you back from real success? It sounds crazy, but hear me out. You've spent years, maybe even decades, mastering your craft. You're the programmer who writes beautiful code in your sleep, the marketer who knows the conversion funnel inside out, or the designer whose work is technically perfect. You've put in the work. So why do you feel so stuck? Why are you watching other people, some with way less talent, just glide up the ladder of success? They're closing the big deals, getting the promotions, and building the life that you want. It's frustrating because it makes no sense. You did everything that they told you to. You got the skills. You became the expert. And the truth is, you're missing the one thing that actually multiplies the value of your talent. And it's not another technical skill, not a fancy certification. It's the invisible framework that the most successful people have mastered. It's what separates the merely skillful from the true titans in their industry. The modern world has sold us a lie, a big one. The lie is that the skills get you hired. And sure, that's true for your first job and maybe your second, but that's a dangerously incomplete story. While hard skills might get you in the door, they absolutely do not guarantee that you'll ever run the building. For a lot of people, they become a golden cage. You hit something that I call the skill ceiling. You get so good at the what, the technical stuff, that you never even bother to master the how. And the how is everything. How you communicate, how you persuade, how you lead, or how you even think. As you move up in any career, the need for your specific technical chops actually goes down, while the demand for these other less intangible abilities skyrocket. Just think about it. The CEO of a software company isn't spending her day debugging code. Her job is to manage people, communicate a vision, and make strategic bets. The skills are totally different. So, the brutal reality is that we're in an information economy and AI is rapidly supercharging. Those technical skills that used to define your expertise, they're increasingly being automated. AI can write code, analyze data, and even create designs. So, if your only value is a single technical skill, your value is actively depreciating. You're in a race against the machine, and it's a race that you're not going to win. That frustration that you feel, it's not in your head. It's the market whispering that the game has changed. Your skills are like bullets, but you're just holding them in your hand, wondering why you're not hitting any targets. You're missing the gun. That force multiplier is what we're going to build today, and it's made of three critical parts. The first, most fundamental part is your mindset, specifically adopting what Stanford psychologist Carol DeWitt calls a growth mindset. This isn't just a fluffy positive thinking, it's a core belief about where abilities come from. Someone with a fixed mindset believes that talent and intelligence are just things we're born with. They're static. You're either a natural or you're not. People with a fixed mindset are terrified of failure because they see it as a final verdict on who they are. They dodge challenges and they ignore feedback because it threatens their ego. A growth mindset, on the other hand, is the belief that your abilities can be developed through dedication and hard work. It's knowing your brain isn't a fixed hardware, it's software that can be updated. This is backed by neuroscience, which shows that the brain has the incredible capacity to change and form new connections, a process that we call neuroplasticity. So, people with a growth mindset, they don't just tolerate failure. They see it as a necessary part of learning. They actively seek out challenges and create feedback, not to prove themselves, but to improve themselves. This one mental shift changes everything. Study after study shows that people with a growth mindset outperform their fixed mindset peers over the long haul because they are more resilient, more motivated, and they never stop improving. This is the operating system for success. Your skills are just apps. Without the right operating system, even the best apps will crash the moment they hit an unexpected error. With a growth mindset, every error, every setback, and every piece of brutal feedback just becomes a patch that makes your whole system stronger. The second part is your character. And no, this isn't about just being a nice person. It's about forging the internal armor you need to survive the brutal journey to success. The key pieces of this armor are resilience, perseverance, and what researcher Angela Duckworth calls grit, which I love because I'm born and raised in Grit City. Your skills, though, they can't help you when a project you poured your soul into fails spectacularly. They're useless when a client fires you or a partner betrays you or when you face a dozen rejections in a row. In those moments, it's not your talent that matters. It's your character that decides whether you stay down or get back up. Now, the ability to turn a setback into a future success is a defining trait of almost every successful person. And this comes from your character, not your skill. Imagine two entrepreneurs with the exact same business idea. The first one launches and hits a huge roadblock and takes it as a sign of professional failure, a verdict, and they quit. The second entrepreneur faces the exact same roadblock, but instead of seeing it as a verdict, they see data. They have the resilience to take the hit and the perseverance to figure out what went wrong. They're iterative. They pivot and they apply the lesson. They don't quit. Over time, who wins? It's not a question of skill. It's a question of grit. This is what employers are desperately looking for. In a world that's consistently changing, the ability to adapt is everything. They want people who don't just have the skills for the job today, but the character to figure out how to do the job of tomorrow, especially after getting knocked down. The third part is the one that most technical people, they just ignore it. Strategic connection. This is not about some slimy networking or handing out business cards like they're flyers. It's about deliberately building a network that gives you access to resources, mentorship, and opportunities that your skills alone could never unlock. This is where you apply the powerful concept of talent stacking. Success is rarely about being the top 1% of a single skill. It's about combining several skills that, when layered together, make you uniquely valuable. Think about it. When Jay-Z wasn't just the world's best rapper, he stacked his rapping skill with an ear for beats, the skill of self-promotion, and the skill of building a record label, and the skill of also spotting and promoting other artists. And that combination put together created something far greater than any one single skill that he had. For you, this means stacking your core technical skill with the soft skills that are becoming incredibly valuable. While it's hard to put an exact number on it, decades of research have made it clear that while technical abilities get you in the door, your long-term career success is overwhelmingly shaped by these so-called soft skills or people skills. Imagine you're that brilliant programmer. Now, stack on top of that skill the ability to communicate complex ideas in simple, persuasive terms. Suddenly, you're not just a coder, you're a team lead who can get an entire department excited about the new project. Now, stack on top of that the skill of strategic networking. You build real relationships with people in other departments or in other industries, and you learn what they struggle with. One day, those connections that you've made, through one of those, you hear about a massive problem in a completely different field that your technical skills could actually solve because you can communicate the vision, lead the team, and build the solution. You just created an opportunity that a more skilled but isolated programmer would never even see. You stacked your talents and created your own category. You're no longer just a great programmer, you are an innovator, a leader, and that is irreplaceable. Now, if this is starting to click for you, if you're seeing that the way forward is not just about getting better at what you already do me a favor and hit that like button. It tells the algorithm that this is a valuable conversation and helps get it to more people who are stuck in the same trap. And if you want to keep leveling up your framework for success, make sure that you subscribe. I break down these non-obvious strategies that the top performers use to get ahead and stay there. So, let's wrap it up. Your skills are and always will be important. They're the foundation. But a foundation with no building on top is just a slab of concrete. The real architecture of success is built with three other things. A growth mindset that turns every challenge into a chance to learn. An impenetrable character armor that lets you power through every setback. And a connection catalyst supercharged by talent stacking that multiplies your value. But just knowing this doesn't change anything. So here is your action item. Pick one of these three areas, just one, and make one small change this week. Maybe it's catching yourself in a fixed mindset thought and reframing it. Maybe it's reaching out to one person in your network, not to ask for something, but just to offer help. The life you want isn't paved with more skills. It's paved with a new way of operating. Stop spinning your blade and start learning how to actually wield it. That's the missing ingredient. That's what will make you unstoppable. For more on growth mindset, watch my playlist of videos right here. And remember to keep growing.